So we'll start with a bit of theory and then we'll move on to the application. So we'll be doing that quickly today. And also because like many of you all told that you need help with VS Code and GitHub. So I'll be demonstrating a bit of that today. Also, Shivansh is the other developer head with me. So let's begin. So as you can see on the screen, one thing, like if you all want, you can turn the videos off after a while. So like, it was just to see all, because then we'll need to know you once the school opens, in case it opens. So let's start. So so we'll be dealing with overview of web development, how websites work, and the basic HTML tags. Okay. So let's look at this part. What does a website consist of? So if I ask y'all what a website is at the basic level, what do you think a website is? Like, just type in the chat in case you have an interpretation. Or if there's no response, then I'll just go on explaining things. Or you could unmute. It's allowed. Okay, no response. So I'll continue then. So basically, someone speaking. Anyway, so basically, we see these things online, right? Like we open the browser and we search for something. Suppose if you want to go to Wikipedia, you'll be typing something and you'll be the browser is fetching those files and giving it to you, and then you're seeing something. So basically, on the simplest level, a website contains some files. Atish, website contains a collection of images. Yes, that's a part of it. Also, Rudro, it's a group of World Wide Web pages usually containing hyperlinks. Okay, that's somewhat correct. So basically, think of a normal TXT file that you have on your computer. So let's talk of words. For example, when you save a file, you save it with .docs as extension. So like for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you have separate extensions. But what happens is when you host these files online on a server, I'll be going over to what a server is later on. When you host it there, it's then that it becomes a website. Like I guess most of you know about the Dino game on Chrome. Like when the internet is not available, you can play the game, right? But that's not a website. That's a Chrome feature for you when your device is offline. So let's start with what's front end. So basically, when you look at a website, suppose look at the square. Suppose you're going to a website, and this is the part that you're seeing. This other part is what is not visible to you. So this part which is not visible to you is the part which is called backend. And what is the front end is basically what's visible to you. Just think that you're talking to someone, the front portion is the front end, and the back which you cannot see is the back end. So basically, like I guess this gives you a simple idea what front end back end is. So if you go by this definition, then you'll be able to recognize that basically anything which runs on your end of the user's end of the computer is comprising of the front end. The backend, on the other hand, has things which the user doesn't know, like the user is not aware of. So I'll be showing you like how you can identify the front end code and these things. So let's talk about front end. A website basically has, on the simplest level, a website has two ends, front end and the back end. This front end thing which I just talked about, what basically it is. See, I'm using my computer right now. So just a minute. This one. Yeah. So like, I guess you can see these various tabs, right? So I'm able to see this. It's on my end. It's the front end. Now let's take the case of Discord. You're logging in, and then there has to be something which collects these information and processes it on the back in somewhere which is not visible to the user, right? Because this contains sensitive information, so that's taken care of in the back end mainly. And in the front end, it's what you will be dealing with right now, mainly in the first half of the session. So I'll be showing something quickly to you. Control Shift I. Is this even working? Yeah. So okay, do not get worried that you're not able to understand all of these things right now. So like you can see certain things over here, right? Like this is some random code which is not making any sense to you right now. but you get the idea, right? This is what is visible to you. This is the front end. This is not completely the front end. Certain files are not exactly, like certain files are obfuscated, but let's ignore that part right now. Okay. Let's go back to the slide. Here are drawings. The front end, when you talk about the front end, we have three primary languages which we use on a common basis. These are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'll be going on over them in the later part. Basically, we'll be posting this later on. So like just go over through the slides, and like if you have any questions, and ask us. Now moving on to backend, I talked a bit about backend. Like you can see certain languages that are mentioned over here, like Node.js, PHP, Python, etc. And then there are databases. Now, what's a database? Now, like I guess most of you have seen this feature on YouTube, like the comment system and this like system, where when you click a button on the like count increases or it decreases based on what you're doing. So that data has to be maintained somewhere, right? It's not gonna happen on its own, or if even if it's happening, it's automated. There has to be kept a count. Without it, it's meaningless. Like you can just update it any way you want, but that's not the case. It's happening in a particular way. So that's because these information are stored in databases, and like we have database management systems like MongoDB, MySQL, and NoSQL. For now, we are not going to discuss it at all because it's a bit difficult right now because you don't know about front end and back end. So moving on to front end. Okay. So let's talk about these languages specifically. I talked about three languages which we use primarily in front end. These are namely HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Mind you, HTML5, we use HTML5 right now. HTML5. HTML5 is the latest version. For CSS, we use CSS3. And the latest JavaScript, which is based on ECMAScript 6, has certain new features. Like I won't be really showing them to you right now, but whenever you're working on front end, please know that you need to work on the recent most versions. Like it's better to work on the recent versions of them than to go with the earlier versions, unless you're using some other technology or framework which is not stable, which is what we are not going to do. There's a rule over here: do not use any library or framework unless you understand the native language completely. Like there are many people who use Bootstrap as a CSS library. It's just as a framework, not a library. It's because it makes things easier to code, but that's a wrong practice. You do not know what CSS is. You do not know what styling is, and you're moving on to a framework, and that's very wrong. It's basically you're basically creating something which someone else has created, and you have no creativity of your own. So that's a very wrong practice. Do not do that. I repeat it again. Now HTML. Now think of the human body. You have the skeleton, right? There has to be something on inside which everything has to be stored, and on which the skin and everything goes, right? That's the HTML. So basically, HTML is the framework of a website. You see forms, you see links, you see text and all. All of those are written using HTML. Now, HTML is not a programming language. HTML, CSS both are not programming languages, they are coding languages. Programming is different from coding. JavaScript, on the other hand, is a coding language. I think this much about HTML is fine. Also, its full form is hypertext markup language. And this word markup makes it clear that it's just to create a structure. Now moving on to CSS, that's cascading style sheets. Think about the skin. That not to be racist here, but like we have different people. Someone has a lighter skin tone, someone has a darker skin tone. So basically, they're identifying features on the external end, right? So like there's a structure, but and then over it there's skin, there's hair, there's other things. So that's basically what you are able to see, how it looks, how the person looks. So that's what CSS does. So like if I give you a website which has everything disorganized and like it's just here and there, or even if it's not disorganized, it's structured, but it's not looking good, you won't want to use it, right? Like maybe you will use it if it's very important, but on an average, you will find it difficult to interact with, or you'll just lose interest after a point. That's why we use CSS, and it's not just why we use CSS. We basically use it so that the website is presentable. Everyone wants something which looks good. That's what we do using CSS. CSS is different from HTML, but we link it to the HTML file, or just write it inside the HTML file, and then we use it. Now moving on to JavaScript. Okay, you have a structure like a bone structure, and then you have skin, but you do not have a brain. How does the person function? The person is just useless. About websites, there's this concept called static website. There are two things basically for websites, like on the basic level. There's static and there's web apps, which are dynamic ones. Like web apps are different slightly, like web apps have multiple things. So static websites do not include any Java. They generally do not include JavaScript, or even if they do, it's at the very minimal level, like only something which is absolutely necessary in most of the cases. So it's not completely like a human body. So if you have a website without a brain, it functions well. It does things, but it doesn't do anything extraordinary. But if suppose you have a login logout feature, so you have to search through certain records and certain lists, or suppose you have to send some request to the backend, you need to have a brain to be able to do it, right? Like suppose if you want to pick up something, you need to know that you want to pick it up. That's what JavaScript will be doing. JavaScript is the base which we use for Node.js, which is basically used in backend mostly. No, it's not used in front end. It's used in backend. So JavaScript is deciding what the brain is, but it's not mandatory. If you are making a simple website, suppose a portfolio website, you can ditch it. It's completely fine. And as you can see here, JavaScript is lightweight. It's fast. It's a low-level language. It came before Python, and I guess it's very similar to C++, but it's dynamic. Now, these things might not make some sense to you right now, but when we'll be doing it, then you'll be able to understand it. So that's this thing.